Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today I wanted to share with you guys a fun origami sort of style kind of craft called paper weaving. I've used this technique in one or two different projects I think before, but I hadn't really made just a specific video to show you guys the technique of how to do it. So I wanted to make sure I could share it with you, and then I'm also going to show you a slight larger, different variation of it as well in another video. And it's just a really fun kind of way. I know a lot of kids probably do this without even realizing they're doing it, because I know when I was a kid I'd fold paper together like this for fun, just with something to do with scraps of paper lying around. The easiest thing to obviously use for this kind of a project is paper tape. Now, if you can't get any of this, then you can certainly cut your own paper. The downside to that is then when you have a point where the papers connect, you have to use glue or tape of some kind. I would recommend, if you are using regular paper and you're cutting strips and making your own long piece of paper, to use either glue or use masking tape, because masking tape folds a little better than Scotch tape does. It's got more of a paper feel to it already, and you can actually have some fun with it, because if you have some of the beautiful different variations of masking tapes they have these days, you could have really a little bit of fun with adding like a little section of color in the area where you're connecting, as opposed to trying to make it blend in. So a couple of different things to consider if you're doing this. You definitely want to kind of consider how much you're using to give you guys an idea of how long the finished piece is going to be. This does hog a lot of paper. If you really want to have a nice long springy piece, you do need to use quite a lot of paper. To be honest, I haven't measured it yet, so I'm going to do one now, and I'll show you guys the information from that when we're done. But I'm just going to start off here with this piece, and I think I'll start off with a piece that's like maybe 50 centimeters long, and then I'll show you guys how that works. Now, you just want to take your two pieces of paper, and it looks really cool if you use different colors, but you can also use just one solid color. It still creates a really neat effect. But what you want to do is just connect these at the top here with a little bit of glue. And you can do a couple of different techniques. You can just make really even edges here, just connect them and trim off the edges and make a nice right angle for both of these. Or I sometimes like to fold and create a nice smooth edge and then turn things over and work, because you can't really see the inside, and that gives you the illusion that everything's kind of connected. So what I would do is I would kind of start off here by taking a little bit and folding it over. And this side can be just straight down. That's fine. But that way you have this one edge at least that gives the illusion that it's kind of folded and not connected in any other way. And then on the side where I folded things over, I can just put a little bit of glue to keep things together. To be honest, you don't necessarily need it. I think it has a tendency to hold on to itself pretty well, and you can get away with not really needing to use glue at all, because by overlapping a lot you wind up getting, stuff pretty secured. But if you want to have it be, a little bit more secure with this little extra little bit by having the glue, then you'll have a guarantee of things sticking together a little better. So I've got that one side with the nice little folded edge, and when you flip it over, then you can begin working with things just at a 90-degree angle, and you're just folding so that you make sure that you're always folding the piece that's underneath over. So I wouldn't start with the red because it's on top, and that makes it easy too, because you're folding against an edge, and then you can just make sure that it's nice and even along the side here too. You could certainly do this quickly and the results still look really cool, but if you want to take your time to make sure that it's really exact, you can do that too. I folded one piece over, then this guy here I can just fold and push over too, making sure that this edge on the side is even. And now I'm going to be folding towards myself, so I can fold over this way, and then this way as well. And you just keep going along until you get all of this completed. And it's going to slightly shift a little bit. It's pretty impossible to keep it perfectly just on top of itself, because we are slowly, you know, kind of moving things a little as we go. But you could certainly try to keep things snug and straight. So recall that I started with a piece of paper. Both of my pieces of paper were about 50 centimeters long. And just by folding over here, and you know, of course, how wide your paper is kind of matters too. So I'll tell you guys how wide this paper is when I'm done here. But looks like it's 1.5 centimeters or so here. But so just keep going back and forth, following the flow of the paper. It's really something you can do without even looking at it. So if you wanted to, you know, be watching TV or watching a movie, you could just allow your hands to kind of work as you notice and feel the edges of the paper, and you can then find that you get a nice little completed piece when you're done. So just keep going here until I get to the end. So I've got this much completed now, and at the end you can kind of approach things the same as you might have done in the beginning. You have a couple of options. When you get to the part where there's no more place for you to fold up, you can just go ahead and trim off these two edges and put a little bit of glue here. Or if you want to have one side have more of a finished piece to it, I'm just going to trim this a little because it's a little wider than a square. But I can then take this part and kind of fold it underneath. And that just creates the illusion of having a little bit more of a completed edge to everything when you're done. And first I'll trim this edge off. That you want to try to get as close to the side as you can, of course. Be a little tricky because there's other pieces there, and then I'll put a tiny little bit of glue under here to secure this. So when I complete it, I get that edge smoothed out then so that I have something that looks a little bit more complete on all the sides. And you can see it has a nice little springiness to it, and you can certainly pull it out pretty far, depending on, that's probably about as far as it can go. So I would say, let's see here, wish I had a better ruler to kind of show you guys. I have my measuring tape here. If I kind of give a little tug on it and see how far it can spread out to naturally without putting too much tension. I'd say it's about 22 centimeters. But that's when I've pulled it out. It doesn't really stay out that far. More naturally, it just sits at about 13 centimeters. So, I would say, you know, in general for this, and the tape's width that I used was about 1.7 centimeters wide, and we started with 50 centimeters in length, and then the natural kind of length for the finished was about 13 centimeters, so almost a third of the width of the length. When you pull on it, it was about 22, so almost half. So you want to kind of keep that in mind if you're trying to use it for something. You know, this can be used as a neat decorative piece for wrapping paper. You can use it as an element in origami to create sort of a pop-up feel when you open a box. That's a really common thing that this technique's used for. But it makes really cute keychains, things like that. You can use all sorts of pretty different colors and have a really pretty result. It's surprisingly beautiful considering how easy it is to make. So, so that's sort of the look at how to make this sort of paper weaving. I'll share with you guys another little more complicated version of this tomorrow. And thanks again, you guys, always so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!